Well, in the summer of 1983, sports anchor Joe Zone set out to light up the golf course and score under 80 through 18 holes. But before he teed it up officially, a few lessons from golf pro Rich McHale.
Getting down from 95 to 79 to break 80 is going to take a lot of work and a lot of practice. After analyzing my swing, Elmhurst pro Rich McHale decided to start right with the fundamentals. Why not? Lesson 1, the grip.
First thing we do is take the heel or fleshy portion of the hand and place it on top of the grip. Okay, let me just stretch your heel up there slightly to make sure it's there. Feel the difference there instead of gripping it in between the palm?
Sure do.
Okay, that's going to give you much more control of the club head. The other keys are the thumb goes down the right side of the grip, not on top, slightly down the right side of the grip. Okay, raise the club in front of you again. As you look down, you can see you've formed a V line between the thumb and forefinger. Okay, if that V line were extended upward, it would go in a straight line to your right shoulder. The heel on top, the V line extended up should go to the right shoulder, the thumb down the right side of the grip, and as we look down, we should be able to see two knuckles. We're going to learn to grip the right hand strictly at the base of the fingers, not in the palm whatsoever. Okay, now we'll always close the fingers first, then apply the rest of the hand, putting the thumb down the left side of the grip in a position to touch the forefinger, which is slightly extended.
The new grip felt uncomfortable, but that was only natural. What helped was McHale's special club with the grooved grip. If only this were legal. McHale is one of the top teaching pros around, and he would have to be if he were going to be able to help me. We went down to the practice tee, and he watched me make a few swings. Even then, he still thought we might be able to reach my goal of 79 by the end of the summer.
Oh, man. Well, that one was pretty weak, Rich. What do you think?
Well, Joe, that last shot showed us we got a little work to do. But I see some definite potential there. Golf, like any other sport or anything we do, can be traced back to how well we do the fundamentals. Although your fundamentals are not really bad, they do need some sprucing up. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start our next lesson. We're going to work a little bit primarily with the grip and the stance. Your grip is not bad, but it needs a little brushing up. Your stance is good, but your initial move away from the ball is an area that we're going to concentrate on initially. And I think this is where we're going to see our results start to come from.
After my first lesson a week ago, I practiced a bit and then played a couple of rounds with little scoring success. McHale, though, says that's normal because we're making changes. Confident that I had learned a great deal with the new grip, we moved along to the setup, or address.
We're using a middle iron, Joe, and for most irons, the first thing we become concerned with is our stance position. The feet, the wideness of the feet should be approximately the insides of the shoulder wide.
Okay.
For all basic principles, we'll play the ball right in the middle of our stance, right in the middle of both feet. Now the toe line is square, and your left toe should be turned towards your target just a little bit. We're going to finish on that left foot, and we start off with the foot in that position. We want the left hand even with the ball, slightly ahead of the club face. Not way forward, but never way behind. The iron is slightly a downstroke through the ball, so we set up in that initial position to make it a little bit easier to come back to the ball correctly. The next main point here is to see that we're properly bent at the hip. A good way that we found out to get this message across is by doing it in this fashion, and why don't you do it along with me. Hold the club out in front of your arms, and then lock your knees back. Push them right back. Okay, now the knees are locked. Now we bend from the hip, letting the club come down and touch right behind the ball. Then we flex the knees slightly. Okay, what we've done here now is assuring ourselves that we are bent at the hip so that when we start our swing away, we won't have the tendency to slide or sway. Our hip will be able to turn correctly through the backswing and the downswing.
I think after 2 lessons, the most frustrating thing so far is knowing that I'm hitting the ball much better, I'm getting good contact, but it's just not being reflected on the scorecard. I still have not been able to get the score down significantly after 2 lessons. Mikhail has assured me after each and every lesson and before our next lesson that it's normal at this point not to be scoring well.
The scoring is much later down the line. You still have other things to learn to help your scoring come. But the fact that you're hitting the ball a little more solid, that's the first step. That's what we have to accomplish first. Once we get that going in the right direction, then we'll start to hit the shots a little straighter, and you'll see the scoring coming a little later.
Okay, let's talk about what we're going to do today then. Third
Okay.
time out.
All right, let's pick up where we left off and get you in the stance position and quickly review the takeaway again, the backswing.
Again, right?
Yeah, mainly get your grip set.
Okay.
Now check your position, make sure your ball position in relation to your feet is right. The arm position away from the body is correct. The hands are in good position in relation to the ball. And now a quick review of the takeaway. All right, we got a 3-part takeaway here. The first thing to leave the ball is the hands. Okay, the second thing is the arms and shoulders. The third and last is the hip turning out of the way. It's a 1, 2, 3. We coordinate them all together. That's it. And then just complete the backswing at the top by that slight hinge of the wrist. Okay, good. Now there's your good position at the top of the swing. Your back was facing the target. The weight on the inside of the right foot. The knee has come over slightly, the arm extended and above the shoulder. Good.
Tonight, Pro Mikhail will take us from here to here.
Come off this foot, though.
One of the biggest problems with golf lessons is trying to retain all of the information learned week after week, and then transferring that info from the brain to the body. Mikhail says that at some point, one thing becomes a key to the whole swing. For me, it was getting the right arm tucked in and keeping it there. A few irons with just that in mind turned out very well.
Okay, my big problem has been the wood. I just have not been able to get off the tee, and maybe now this little pointer here is going to make a difference.
Well, we got to use that big dog too, Joe. He has to eat too. Now first, check your position. Now back off. Think about 3 or 4 things that you always do, and just go through the motion of a good practice swing. Okay, then you step up there and just think about the one key, the new key.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
I mean, that's down
Awesome. That's down there a hunt. Super.
Oh,
there it is.
Look at that golf ball. Jesus, Rich, I could play in the Pro-Am up here with that.
You could play in a lot of tournaments with that one.
It's great when we're sitting here talking about it, isn't it?
That was super.
Well, Joe Zone's 79 in mind was born into a contest for the viewers to guess his score, and the winner of that contest receiving a brand new set of $700 golf clubs. Tim Carlson set up the details, and back then, postcards were the way to enter.
Well, you should see all the cards we've received so far telling us what Joe's own score will be when he tries to shoot 79 or less for 18 holes Monday, September 12th at Wilkes-Barre Golf Club. Some folks, including Joe, are surprisingly optimistic, others more realistic. While you take your own guess, remember, Joe's total score for 18 holes. You come closest to his actual score, you win a set of golf clubs. And as a tiebreaker, put down on what hole you think Joe will reach the 79. If we're still tied, a random drawing will be held. Send your postcard on a postcard. Send your guess on a postcard, too. 79 in mind, WNEP TV, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton Airport, 18641.
I don't know too much about golf.
Yeah.
But these look like pretty nice golf clubs.
Aren't these beautiful? Let me tell you what they are, okay? Lynx Predators. This is the top of the line Lynx. We just got them in from California. 4 woods, metal woods, beautiful. Irons, Super Predator, Lynx. Ping head covers, Wilson bag. We've got an Acushnet putter in there. I'll tell you what, folks, this is class. This is about $700.
Wow.
Now I bet you're upset.
I'm upset that I work here. I wanted to enter the contest.
And I bet you're upset you don't have a card in right now. But there is still time to get it in. It has to be postmarked no later than midnight tomorrow night. Guess my score for 18 holes at Wilkes-Barre on Monday as a tiebreaker on which hole I will reach 79. And come on out onto the course I'll be playing at 2:30 on Monday. I'd like to have you come along just to throw rocks at me or something, whatever. Man, would I like to go out and swing these. These are magnificent.
They certainly are. Some lucky persons. Will you announce that by 11 on Monday?
I don't know. We have to go through a lot of cards. We hope to know by 11 on Monday, though.
Okay,
This is
very
class
good.
2 fur here.
Yeah, I thought you'd go for the fur.
Look like teddy bears. Thanks, Joe.
Well, after swinging a few clubs at the range, Joe was confident with his game at that point, so the time came to hit the course at the Wilkes-Barre Golf Club. Unfortunately, Mother Nature played her role.
Today was the day I was supposed to shoot my 79 in mind round of golf. Mother Nature had rain in mind and stopped me along the way. I did manage to get in 9 holes before heavy rain forced me off the course. I shot a rather disgusting 54, which anyone who guessed in the 80s better hope I bring Jack Nicklaus along with me tomorrow. Let's take a look at some of it. I'll tell you what, unless you've teed it off in front of a crowd and tried to hit a golf ball, you don't know the meaning of the word choke. First tee shot into the ground down the fairway about 50 yards. More troubles on one. Finally, a chip shot gets me putting. I open with a 7, and from there it is all downhill. Looked like I was recovering. Then when I got to 5, a couple of bogeys under my belt, but 5 was a disaster. 2 shots in the woods and a 10, and there's no way when you're shooting score you can recover from a 10. Next hole, I had it back together, a nice drive, and then this little wedge, watch it, to get within birdie range. And boy, I'll tell you what, that one felt nice, especially the way I was playing. Putting for a birdie? Come on, baby, let's go. Drop. Just by the hole, never short, never in, they say. Par gets in, and I got myself a par. A couple of spectators turned out and at least stayed for a while through the rain, but as I said, 54 is not the way to do it. Okay. Tomorrow, it's back out to the Wilkes-Barre Golf Club to shoot the final 9 holes. I'll be teeing off at 4 o'clock. I'd love to have you come out and see how it goes, especially now since I can hit in front of a crowd. I don't hit well, but I can hit in front of a crowd. Obviously, today's 54 eliminates some of the possibilities that have come in for our contest, but most of you who entered, and there are about 1,000 of you, are still alive, so every shot tomorrow will be important.
Well, you've been hearing the term 79 in mind now for longer than you'd probably want to, but it's finally over, and Tim Carlson's got the final chapter in this long saga live from the Wilkes-Barre Golf Club. Tim and Joe, take it away.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark, it's been a wet saga today as it was yesterday. Right now, we're on the 18th green. Joe is just off the green, and his ball is lying with 104 strokes on it. 104 he lies just outside the green, and Joe is just about to take a little chip shot to get on the green. Then we'll have to see exactly what he does. Joe's on now, just outside the 18th green, about to take a chip, laying 104. Great approach, great up for Joe's own. He's just outside the cup, about 3 inches away. And hopefully Joe is going to be able to put this one right in. Yeah, that's true. How can a man shoot 104 and make a chip like that? Probably one of the best shots that Joe's made all day, although he has made some very good shots, especially out of the water earlier today. Here's the final stroke of this match. And there it is. Joe scores a 106. A 106 is the final score for Joe's own. And his 79 in mind went by the boards. Way back there on hole 13 is when you made the magic stroke, right, Joe?
So it's 105. Hole 13 is the tiebreaker.
No, it's 106.
Is that what I have, 106?
So you were laying 104, you made 2 shots.
Okay, 106. Hole 13 is the tiebreaker. We'll go back now, check all the cards, and we'll have our winner announced by Thursday.
All right. What do you think was the best shot made all day besides that chip?
The putt I made to get the par on 16, the long putt, was probably the best shot I had.
Yeah, that was a great shot. And yeah, let's get to caddy over here. Rich Gadosh. Rich, what do you think was the best shot Joe made all day?
I had some good chip shots. I think the putt he made on 16, or the chip shot he hit yesterday on 6 was a good one. That was about 100 yards out, and he hit a good shot to the green there. Some positive things Joe did today. I think totally at 35 putts, which is really great, considering normally most of us try to go for 36. So had some good shots out there. Bad weather conditions. It rained for 8 of the 18 holes that he played, and a lot of people out there might have not shot 106 under those conditions.
All right, what do you think is the thing you have to work on the most now for next year, Joe?
Tennis.
No, seriously.
Tennis, that's it. I'm not playing anymor.
Come on, you got it.
I'll have to think about coming back, but I think I'm going to retire and become a sportscaster.
All right, Joe.
Okay, we'll tabulate it all. It was a great time, and we tried to promote golf this summer, and we hope we did.
Well, you did a nice job today. Tough weather conditions the whole summer long, and who knows, you come out here to play for one day to shoot 79 in mine, and you get dumped on with rain. What do you say?
We could have used it earlier. I should have played earlier this summer. We needed the rain.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. Okay. All right, there you go. Joe's own 79 he got on the 13th hole. He ends up with a 106, and we'll find out who won tonight on Newswatch 16 Update, and hopefully it will be you.
Well, now that we have all that other news aside, let's get to the big story. 79 was only in your mind, eh?
Yeah, you weren't kidding. Big scoreboard behind me. 3 months of abuse and embarrassment, it seems. It all came to an end today at the Wilkes-Barre Golf Club. 79 in mind when we started our Learn to Golf series back in June. Not quite. 54 yesterday after 9 in rain. 52 today. 106 total with 79 on the 13th. And yes, there are 3 of you who hit it right on the head. Like yesterday, I was in trouble early. There I am, deep trouble. You notice how it's always easier to get in there, much tougher to get out. Any pro will tell you the name of the game is recovery from the water. That's right. It's wet, but playable. That was number 11. You know, let's get another chance, right? On number 12. Why not? If you're going to go in the water, find all the water and another one out of the water. With this much practice, you got to make a few of them. One of the few decent drives of the day. Watch it coming here. It lands in the sand, but an awful lot of oomph and through the sand and sets up nice. Puts me in position for a par right here on 13. Now here it is, the 79th stroke of the round. Right there, just missed the par putt. Okay, came on 13. No par in 16, line 4 on the par 5. This one's got a chance right there. There's a par 5, the only par on the side. Then, now watch this. Coming home now on number 18. Testy little chip off the edge. Not quite. There's stroke 105, and there, watch this now, the reverse angle. The slow-mo, head down, stiff wrist. Boy, if you could do that all the time, you'd have it. Okay. And then finally, coming up now, wrapping it up, stroke 106. That is in the hole, and that is what we ended up with. Now, our contest asked you to guess my total score for 18 holes, 106, plus as a tiebreaker on which hole I would reach the mythical 79. That was on hole number 13. 3 people were right on the money. Bob Greenlee of Millville, Paul Brennan from Pittston, and Judy Evans of Factoryville all guessed the total and score. Several people had one or the other. Several people had also sent some in with more than one entry. Other people sent them in late. All those people were disqualified. Just 3 people left. We have 3 correct entries, so we're going to put them now in a hat, pull out a first prize winner. That, of course, will be for the set of golf clubs. The other 2 will be consolation prizes, which are beautiful Lynx metal drivers. They'll go to 1 each. So we've got a great Yankee hat here. I've got 3 of them in there. Frank, you want to pick?
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay. Frank Andrews, go ahead.
All right, we'll take this one.
Okay. Paul Brennan, Pittston, Pennsylvania, has won the set of golf clubs. Congratulations to him. Our other 2 consolation prizes, as I said, will be Lynx drivers. We'll be giving them out. Hopefully, we'll have Paul on our show later this week. We can present him to him in person. And that wraps up that great series. Great. Okay.
Well, Joe Zone's not with me right here, but he's outside doing something very special. Hi, Joe.
Karen, it's nice to be back. I've got with me the set of golf clubs, a special T-shirt, by the way, that one of our viewers so kindly, if I may, what does it say? 106. I'll never be able to forget, I guess, but I appreciate that. Okay, these are the golf clubs we're giving away for our contest, and the man who won them is here, Paul Brennan from Pittston. Paul, come on in here.
Yeah.
106, you guessed, huh? First of all, before we get going here, why 106? What made you say 106?
Well, I played the course before, Joe, and I knew that if you got in the woods a few times, you'd easily build up a score, or if you flew a couple of greens, because there's woods in back of them, too.
Okay, let's go back and look to the final couple of shots on Tuesday when the score was getting in close. Let's see if we can take a look at it now. Tell me what you were thinking about. I'm lying 104, and we're going to see the chip shot right there.
Yeah. Well, I kept saying to myself, Joe, just lay it up for a gimme, because I knew I had 106, and that was it. And when the ball stopped, about 6 inches from the pin, I knew I had it.
So of course, you knew I had to make the putt there. You had no fears with that, huh?
No, no fears at all.
A man who shoots 106 and you didn't worry about the putt. Okay, well, these are the clubs we talked about. These are the Lynx clubs and the Woods. And tell you what, these are for you. I want you to take one out. Just take a swing. I know you're a golfer. Just take out a driver. I'll hold this for you. Just give it a swing. Tell me how they feel.
Beautiful swing, Wade. Beautiful.
You like them, huh?
Beautiful.
Well, Paul, thanks very much for participating in the contest, and I hope you had as much fun with as we did. Did you get anything out of the lessons, by the way? That was the whole point of the contest.
Oh, yeah, I watched. I enjoyed it, yeah.
Okay. Well,
congratulations. And we had two other people who guessed 106 as the final score and 13th hole as the tiebreaker. We award them. We've got some consolation prizes. They will both get drivers. So congratulations. That's our golf contest for this year. Okay.
Well, there you have it, a modest 106 over a 2-day period for amateur golfer Joe Zone. Not quite the 79 he had in mind way back in 1983. Joe Zone is currently working in Hartford, Connecticut at WFSB TV3 as the sports director, and that's all we have for this special look back. Steve Lloyd, Newswatch 16 Sports.